Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. This podcast is a conversation between two business partners, Joann Kandrac and Kelly Kole. Join us for a lively conversation about all things interior design, from current projects, trade show experiences, worldwide travel, what's in, what's out, and all the challenges and wins they've had running their successful design business. Whether you're a seasoned interior designer, new to the industry, or a creative enthusiast, you will walk away with insightful information, newfound inspiration, and a smile on your face after listening to these two. And here they are, Joann and Kelly.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 157 of Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. And today we are talking about the interior designer skill set. So very often we quietly roll our eyes when people say to us, oh, your job must be so fun. You get to shop all day. And yes, our jobs are very fun, but there is so much more to just shopping for people all day. So we were especially reminded of this. Well, we're always reminded of this as the days roll by and we've had a difficult client, or we've just scored like a killer project, or, we've just sat down and reviewed our financials, basically all the things that a small business and entrepreneurs go through all the time. So the other day, we had just left a new client consultation, and we always get in the car and kind of, recap, and we were trying to wrap our heads around like what our actual perception was of this client. And because we got to kind of really figure that out to be able to sit down and really tackle the design proposal appropriately.
It's a lot of psychology involved.
It totally is. So it led us to start thinking of really the impressive skill set that successful interior designers really have to have, and how worthy that is of discussion.
Yeah. You can be a great designer, but you need to have so much more. So we're going to
have a little university today.
Kandrac Kole University today. But before we get started, I'm very excited to announce our sponsor, which is Esteem Media. They are a brand that believes that commerce can be maximized among luxury businesses by creating and sharing content that adds value to online and offline business networks. They specialize in connecting national and local businesses in the luxury home design and fine wine areas. So their calendar of upcoming events is super impressive. So listen carefully.
Get notes or...
Yes. So the High Point Market Influencer and Insiders Tours are sponsored by Esteem Media with High Point Market Authority. So this spring, there's also the Design Influencers Tour program.
Yep.
This will take 10 design influencers on a 2-day tour of sponsoring showrooms at High Point Market. During each tour, designers will receive an in-depth look at the exhibitor's company history, brand positioning, and furnishing products. After Spring Market, each designer will reflect on inspirational products and moments from the market, as well as promote the tour sponsors via their online platforms. So follow them on social media via hashtag Design Influencers Tour, influencer list, and it's highpointmarket.org/Design Influencers Tour. This is one of those things where if you can't make it, you're going to get some great information from these people.
I would follow them, because by the time this airs, it will have already occurred. So, but there is so much information out there that will come from this. So keep your eye on that hashtag Design Influencers Tour and the highpointmarket.org for Influencers Tour, and you'll see all that they did. And then connected to that in a kind of a different spin is the Insiders Tour that we are doing along with 4 other designers. Are there 5 of us?
I think there's 5 of us total.
Yes.
But and that's on the Saturday that High Point Market opens all day. And then they've added, because it's so popular.
Yep.
I mean, our tour sold out very quickly.
Yep.
And they allow 15. So they've also added half days in on Fridays.
Yes.
So if you're thinking about coming to High Point for the fall, keep your eyes out for that, because it's such a great way to learn how to navigate market. Okay, so that's another thing that he's doing. So what else has he got going on?
Oh my gosh. So then he's got the Luxury Home Design Summit. And this is held every generally May at the Chatham's Bar Inn in Chatham's, Massachusetts, which is one of my most favorite restaurants on the East, or hotels on the East Coast. But it's May 22nd to 24th. And this is a collaboration with Esteem Media and New England Home Magazine and Esteem's management team. So unfortunately, don't kill us, but this event is sold out. It's sold out 2 months in advance of the, it's already, but listen, because it comes every year. And this is an amazing conference and networking event accessible to today's and future leaders in the luxury home design industry who run, own, manage, or aspire to lead home design businesses around the country. So it's really unlike any other conference in the industry, bringing all the luxury designers, architects, builders, landscape, and all those people together to really brainstorm on each other.
There is really no other conference that does that. So if you want to rub elbows with. So the last thing that we'll tell you is the Southeastern Designer Show House and Gardens, and that's via Atlanta Homes and Lifestyles. Always the best show house. We did have an episode on what we learn in show houses, and we just can't wait. This one's coming up May 11th through June 4th. It benefits Camp Twin Lakes, which runs transformative camps for children with serious illnesses, disabilities, and other life challenges. But we have
can't miss it, people.
Yeah,
you can't miss these. You can't miss.
These are great.
The show houses that Esteem Media and Atlanta Homes and Lifestyles puts on in Atlanta. You just can't.
So there is one announcement that's very, very exciting that we're going to wait till the end.
And we are about the first to announce it. Nobody knows about it, but you have to listen to the end because it will blow your socks off. Okay. Ready?
So Skillset number 1.
Yes.
Being perceptive.
Yes.
And I have to say, it's number 1 because it's very key to how to read people.
Yes. Because when we are sitting there with the clients, okay, and this really applies not only to interior designers, but I think any business, especially if you're in sales of any kind, right? You got a client in front of you and you're watching and you're talking and you're inquiring and you're trying to figure out, what is this person's spending capability, right? What, because they'll never say, we always say,
every once in a while, every once in a while.
And they're like, we don't know.
I think they don't say for 2 reasons. One, they really have no clue what things will really cost. And the other is they are afraid that if they tell you that you're going to use every penny of it.
Right.
So it's kind of great to ask, but you won't always get it. So there's a few things that we do to try to figure it out. Number 1, we kind of look at what they currently have.
Right.
And that could either mean that they haven't done anything in 25, 30 years, or they recently did this and they're not happy with it.
True. I mean, let's start. Our dream client, let's start there, is the one where we walk in and they know what they want roundabout and they trust us completely and they just say, go, and we know, this will be more of a luxury project, but we're always fair and we're always reasonable. So we do have a lot of those clients, and it's really when we do our best work. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So then the second one we see is we walk in and they've got really nice stuff, right? Maybe they have some heirloom pieces. They've got antiques. They've got some Henrodon and some old time like furniture that's lasts them forever. But because they haven't purchased anything in so long, they literally have no idea. So those are the people that want quality, want it to be really nice. They might have a little bit of sticker shock at first, but they'll be okay with it.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's the other one. They appreciate nice things. And they recently spent money at like Our House or Pottery Barn, Restoration Hardware, because they just didn't know where else to go. And they have some nice things, but nothing is finished or pulled together. They may have bought a sofa at Ethan Allen, and then they just then they stopped. They didn't know the kind of pillows to put on it and all that. So there's that client. And we've had a lot of those lately because
They're good though, because if they've just blown stupid money at those retail places, then we know they're going to be so happy with everything we do.
Yes.
And keep in mind, we work kind of in the $1 to $3 million home range. I mean, our capabilities obviously can go way higher. That's kind of our sweet spot. So, if you're a designer out there and you're doing, $25 million homes, then you might be rolling your eyes at us that our clients some of them buy at our house. But, anyway, let's just put that out there.
Atlanta's a big place. There's a lot of people.
There's room for all of us.
And then the other one is, and there's quite a few of these too, and it might be younger people that at first glance, everything looks really cute and adorable. And then as you look a little closer, they're just, it's wayfarish. It's kind of small. It doesn't have
it's the hardest client.
It doesn't have that elevated. It doesn't have that elevated look.
Yeah.
And that's where sticker shock comes into, because if they're used to paying, let's just say $400 or $500 for a chair, it's going to be tough because you're going to pay a little bit more, but there's no comparison in the quality. So that's kind of the first thing you have to do, because at the end of the day, it's people's money.
Yeah.
And people really want to know what they're going to spend. But I think what's really important too is like when you first meet them and building the rapport.
Absolutely. Because that gets us over all the stumbling blocks that come from kind of all those
I think
personality traits we just talked about.
I think trust is huge. I mean, you walk in, you're a complete stranger, and this person is looking at you. A lot of times the men are not quite sure because they're not in it as much, and the wife has found us, and they're kind of like, what are these girls going to do? And so, just through talking, like, what do you do for a living? And then, oh, so-and-so's, brother works there, and maybe they know them, or my husband works in IT, and so you get that kind of going, and you make them feel a little more comfortable.
Yes. Well, we've already kind of laid down the I'm losing my words, but we've already pre-qualified them. We have confirmed the day before. We have come exactly on time. We have come prepared. We have all of the notes that they sent us in their qualifying conversation. We've got a client book ready to show them and exactly, how we do business. And so right off the bat, we're giving the perception that you are in very good hands. We're in control. We're here for you.
Yeah.
We're not flighty. We're not, walking in with a big coffee and tired and, late.
And the funny thing is, and this sounds so dumb, but this relates to any business too.
Yeah.
When you get an inquiry, respond as fast as you can.
Yes.
Even if it's on the weekend.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've contacted somebody and they were like, thank you for responding. And actually, we got a recent job that said we were the first ones that called, and they were impressed by that. And then from that point on, then it went very well.
Mm-hmm.
Just another thing, which an experience that I had last year. So I'm looking at myself as a consumer. So we have woodpeckers. Okay. So we have to get it taken care of. We have a super high chimney, and they're
causing a ruckus
up there and getting holes in there. So go out to my neighborhood Facebook page. I get like 3 different people. So I look at their website first. Okay. So I'm thinking, okay, if someone's looking at our websites first, clearly they see us, which I think helps. Sometimes I go to a website and I don't see a person. I want to see kind of what that person looks like. So there was number 1. I look to see what services they offer, if they have any reviews. Like I'm really looking at the website. And so this one guy on his website, he had a video and he showed how he did it, whatever. So I thought, you know what? I kind of like that. I'm going to call him first. He came on time. He could answer every question that I asked very quickly.
Yes.
He was extremely confident. You knew he knew what he was doing. And I immediately just felt like, okay, but I'm going to call the other guy just in case. No comparison.
Yeah.
So I think
you'll pay more for that guy.
Well, absolutely. I felt like I already had that good feeling. I mean, he already answered all of my questions in a very confident way. You can't be like wavering. You have to be pretty direct, and you have to really know what you're talking about, because that's what makes people feel comfortable. So once you get them feeling comfortable and they trust you, then you got to take it a little further.
Yes, agree. And I think that rolling into skill set number 3 is the skill of being a mediator, because we walk into homes with partners, right? And I think, I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but if I'm working with, let's say, our financial planner or a contractor, and they only talk to my husband, I'm already like, we're done. Or they only talk to me, and I think that's rude, to Mike. So I think that acknowledging both people, and inevitably what happens is one does all the talking and the other doesn't, but then they come in the background or on the 11th hour, and then all of a sudden the course changes. So we really like to engage the quiet one and get them talking, but make them feel that their opinion matters. There's always one, and sometimes it's not always the wife.
Well, what's happened quite a few times too. We'll get there, and both the husband and wife will be there. Of course, the wife has found us. The husband is there to sort of check it out. And he'll stay for a little bit and we'll talk for a little bit. Then he goes to work. So I think a lot of times they just want to get that feeling like, okay, they seem like they're okay. So you have to, what's the word? You have to make them feel like
they're in it. They're included. They're what they want, matters to us, and we're doing a design for the two of them. So, if the wife's going off about all that she wants and the husband's sitting there going, all I want is a leather reading chair, and we don't provide that in the design.
Yeah.
Then
no, you got to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
So,
and we also have times when there's something going on between the two of them, like one's talking down to the other or shutting the other one down, or it's very uncomfortable. And we have turned away clients like that after the consultation when we're just like, you know what? That is a very unhealthy thing going on in their house, and we don't want to be in the middle of it. So we have no problem walking away from stuff like that.
And, different designers do their consultations differently. We charge $600 for our consultation.
Yep.
So if somebody's calling around and it's just based on price and somebody else will do a consultation for free, they may call them, but then that might not be the client. But if someone's willing to invest the $600, it's really more of a working consultation that we do. We are taking notes. We're taking measurements.
Yep.
We're asking all the questions so that we're really working in that 1.5 to 2 hours that we're there. And I think the other thing that does, it's not like saying, oh, well, we're going to get the job, but kind of like, why would we come back and measure? Why, it kind of gives the perception that, okay, we're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I would say 98% of our consultations turn into full projects. I mean, we just walk in and assume that. I mean, we're going to spend 2 hours at your home. You've paid us $600. We're there doing all the things we've just talked about, building rapport and getting to know the dog and the kids and learning all that you want to do. And then we're not going to work together.
Well, they might not like us. I mean, you never know.
I beg your pardon.
Well, there might be 2% that don't want to work with us.
Hopefully they've stalked us enough and you've watched this podcast so you'll figure out.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too, is I think by the time people have us come into their homes, I mean, I would be stalking. I stalk websites.
Of course.
They will have they've seen the social media. They see what we're doing. They educate themselves. They have a podcast. They talk about design. Like there's more there's so much more than just somebody coming and designing your home.
Yes.
And there's two of us.
Yes. So that's the skill set number 4 we're talking about, is establishing yourself as an expert. And again, this is not just, interior designers. This is anybody that is in business for themselves. And you have to, you're in a sales position. So I think that, for us, that consultation is so important because we're also giving a lot of freebies, really. We're brainstorming. We're in there talking to them. And a lot of time we redirect them. They've called us for a certain thing. It just happened the other day. We had the greatest woman called us, and she has this whole space off of her kitchen, and she wanted to turn it into a homework, kind of a study space for her 12-year-old. And she had called in these people to do built-ins. And
a window seat.
Yeah, kind of a window seat, built-in storage, and she pulled out the drawing and we started asking questions just about, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? What does she want? And it didn't make sense at all what they had proposed. It wasn't right. It didn't feel right. It didn't function right.
Yeah.
And
so when we said that to her, I mean, we had no problem saying it. We just said, this is very wrong. This doesn't feel right. I would
so
not
sorry
do
to
this.
rain on your parade, but
and she goes, I'm so glad. That's why I called you guys. I'm so glad you told me. I wasn't like 100% sure, because here she was relying on somebody. He's a carpenter. He's not a designer. He didn't ask probably all the questions. Like, she was going to do this window seat and have a table pulled up to it. That's not very comfortable.
It just wasn't going to work. And the husband was in the background in the kitchen going, I knew it wasn't going to work. I never liked that idea, but they were at a crossroads. So again, that mediator skill came in. But she was so relieved, and she was just like, thank you. Thank you. And we put together a whole new plan for her. And she couldn't have been couldn't have been more happy. So
so like given the freebie, like sometimes at the consultation, like sometimes it's just like we'll be looking, let's just say we're looking at somebody's bookcases and they don't have any hardware on the doors. And we're like, a long piece of hardware, whatever. And then all of a sudden you can see people like, oh,
yeah.
That's kind of the difference. That's what that needed. So once you start giving a couple of those freebies, they're like, wow, they've already made me feel so good about that and that. What else can they do?
And the other thing that we do is we share a lot of our contractors. We don't always share the big ones until they sign with us, but we might let them know our painter or our electrician, so that they know that we have a posse of vetted people to take care of them. Again, establishing that we are the experts. We've got you covered.
Right.
Don't worry about a thing.
And they feel good, just like the woodpecker guy.
Yeah.
If he says, well, if you have squirrels, let me introduce you to my buddy, whatever. And so you're assuming that the buddy is going to be just as good as him, that they have the same kind of work thing. And I'm so adamant about only giving good people, because I never want to be the person where someone has a problem. I love to give a good recommendation, because there's a lot of not so great contractors out there.
Don't we all know? So then the last skill set we're going to talk about as we wrap up is the salesperson. And I don't know why, maybe I feel like I was born to be a salesperson. And we're both really good at it. I think it's a big deal. Like Joann said, you're walking into these people's homes for the very first time. They don't know you from Adam.
They're spending a lot of money.
They're spending a ton of money with you, and you've got to ask for that check. And we collect all funds 100% in full upfront. Always
have.
Okay.
Always
Our
have.
accounts receivable is 0 at all times. So you have to have, establish yourself as that expert, built that rapport, been that mediator, done all these things to be able to ask for the check, right?
Yeah.
You got to ask for the check. And it's a lot of sales, but you got to do all the work ahead of time.
And you don't ask meekly, like, okay, this will be $600. Okay, here's our card. That's $600. We'll get back to the proposal. I mean, it's like, this is just the way it is. And I know a lot of designers have that, and you just have to keep doing it, because it'll eventually come easy. It's not easy to ask for money, but when you realize what you're giving, it's worth it.
Well, and when you've put the work in and you're going, man, I want to score this job, I need this money. I've just worked my butt off on this. Then, you gotta, but we're very transparent with how our pricing comes about. Everything is line itemed and broken down. We explain how everything has come to be. And a lot of our clients will say, okay, we're giving you the whole house. If you're having a heart attack right now, we can do this in phases. We can do half this year, half next year. We don't care. We work with our clients for years. We always give them that option, that we have the capability of doing this whole house at one time, or we can break it up and do it.
And actually, somebody might not have ever thought of that. And then we leave and they might have said, you know what? We've waited so long to do it. Let's just get them to do the whole thing. And that's happened.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to say, you want to add this? Do you want to add that? I mean, they'll just say no if they don't want to. So
because, bonuses come and tax stuff comes, and people, maybe they're waiting for the last year of college to finish, whatever. I mean, we just give people that option, and I think they're really happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So see, there's so much to go, so much you've got to have in your arsenal to be a successful interior designer. And that was just like
a little,
like the crust of it. I mean, we've got a lot more to share in these.
But it's
arenas.
been interesting because the last 2 consultations that we've gone on, this has kind of come up.
Mm-hmm.
We can't quite, we have to really read the person.
Yes.
Because if you read it wrong, that could make a difference how your approach is.
Right. Absolutely.
So you've got to show some flexibility, and you have to show, like I said, confidence. I think is another really, really big thing you got to work on if you don't
Even
have
if you
it.
got to fake it, baby. Just
Yep.
stand up straight.
Yep.
Firm handshake. Smile. You got it. Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
that's enough of university for now. We'll come back and do more on another episode.
Yep. Okay. You want to do quotes, and then we'll give the big announcement?
Yes. Big announcement.
Okay.
I can do either one.
I want to do the second one because I want to use the expletive.
Okay, excellent. Funny. Now Russ is all nervous. Funny quote. Now that I've lived during a plague, which we did, I understand why most Renaissance paintings are of chubby women laying around without a bra. Yep. Gotta love it.
Yes.
That's the birth of the Renaissance era. And so we're in a Renaissance era, 2023.
Yeah. Okay, the serious quote. Even if your business is small, the fact that you took a chance on yourself, following your dreams, and created unemployment for yourself is freaking extraordinary.
You could put a better word in there, but
it's true. I mean,
it's true. Extraordinary. And when you think about, and I think about it all the time, like, I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us. Look what we did. Look what we've done for 18 years. Like,
I know.
It's good. Like, we did it on
managed to
our
do
own.
it.
Yeah.
I was just watching Good Morning America yesterday, and I can't think of the shark's name. He was on there, and he was talking about starting a business. And he said, the first thing you have to do, don't think about, I want to be a business owner. What problem can I solve?
Yes.
And then once you find the problem to solve, then you can create the business.
Yes. The solution for the people that want it.
Yep. And how many businesses fail?
Mm-hmm.
And I just read, I'm getting a little off topic, but I thought this was interesting. I just read that 75 to 80% of podcasts don't make it past the first couple of episodes.
Get out.
That it's very rare.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not talking about the serial and the big ones. I'm talking about
the little
small
guys.
businesses like us.
Yeah.
It's very unusual that we've managed to do it for this long.
Yeah. Well, the content creation is tough. And that's why Esteem Media is so fantastic, and why all these events that we go to are amazing. And it's the perfect segue to tell you that we are the very first to announce that the Design Influencers Conference, put on by Esteem Media, has been reimagined, reborn, recreated into a new, it's a renaissance, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've all been waiting because we didn't have one in 2022. But the new version of the Design Influencers Conference is coming in February in Napa.
Yes. It's going to be experiential, a little different, and educational.
Smaller than usual, only 250 people.
Only 250 people, which is about half of what it normally is.
Yep.
So
we go ahead.
It had one in 2022. That's where we did our podcast from. That was just last year.
Yes,
there's just nothing this year, nothing in 2023, because they were taking the time, and we were kind of bummed. But now we can say the dates are not official. It's February. It's not officially the dates yet until he gets a few contracts and vendors and things figured out. But we'll be able to give you that again when we find out.
But it's going to be leaning very, very heavily on the connection between designers, influencers, and brands. It's going to be smaller, like we said, and Adam Japko and his team are beyond excited. They've been working on this for over a year. And so just keep watching Design Influencers Conference, watch Esteem Media. It'll be all over our social media, and grab your spot in February. We'll know the dates and the location in a little bit, but he's finalizing all the contracts and stuff.
And if you want to, I think we did two episodes live from the Design Influencers Conference, and you can hear more about it. We had different people that were there talking about what they liked about it. And then we also had Adam Japko as a guest.
Yep.
So you can find out more about that. But yeah, once that is announced and tickets go on sale, I'm telling you,
Sign up,
You
people.
can't- you
Throw
can't.
down your credit card.
Yeah, you can't procrastinate on
I'm
that
so
one.
excited.
I know.
Like, I
So
can't
excited.
even stand it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Esteem Media, for being our sponsor of this show. And we will see you in High Point next week for all of our Insider Tour shenanigans.
Yes, that's very exciting.
Yep.
Any other announcements? Well, our next podcast will probably be all about High Point.
Yeah,
What we saw in High
trends
Point. And
People wait for that one.
yes, it's a good
It's
one.
a good one. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Join Joann and Kelly for a new episode every other Friday as they continue to explore the nuances of the interior design business with the goal of informing, inspiring, and entertaining their listeners. See their work at Kandrac-Kole.com and engage with them on Facebook and Instagram at Kandrac Kole.